Hi, good day. I would like to talk about what is double entry accounting. A very simple example is when your organization would like to buy, for example, a printer. Okay, a printer, simple as a printer, and you are paying cash for it. So when you buy printer for cash, you remember your accounting equation. We have assets equals to liabilities plus equity. So when you buy the printer using cash, so cash is a part of asset which is on the left hand side. Okay, so when you buy the printer, let's say the price of the printer is 1,500 ringgit, so you have to pay using the cash. So basically your cash has been decreased by 1,500. So what happened? Because now your equation is not equal, right? So you have to do something about the equation. Either you decrease the right hand side, or you increase back the left hand side. So when you buy a particular printer is considered as an asset. So when it is an asset, you buy the printer, you decrease your asset, which is the cash, but at the same time you increase your other asset, which is the printer. So now the equation is balanced. Right? So now we are going to a more complex situation where the printer is being bought by cash plus credit. It means when you buy the printer from the supplier put some sort like we can say that an agreement saying that, okay, you have to pay 10% for the printer by cash, and the remaining 90% is by credit. So when okay, accounts payable is actually a type of liability which is situated at the right hand side of the equation. So what happens when you buy using these two terms, meaning 10% using cash and another 90% using liability? Okay, now we look at the equation as the left and the right. The left representing the assets, the right representing the liabilities and owner's equity. So when you buy the assets, okay, the printer, using 10% cash, so basically you have reduced your asset. Okay, let's say the price of the printer just now is 1,500, right? So 10% is 150 ringgit. So you have reduced your cash by 150 ringgit, but you remember you bought the printer worth 1,500, so you increase back the asset by 1,500 minus the 150, so 1,350, right? Because just now you have already deducted the cash by 150, then you increase the printer by 1,005. So at the right hand side, you have increased the liability, which is the amount that you owe the supplier just now, by 1,350, which is actually the 90% represented by the credit term. So this is actually what happened to the equation whenever there is a transaction. This is called double entry. And you have to remember each entry must be equal. If you debit the amount worth of 1,500, you have to credit the amount of 1,500. You can't do a transaction where you debited the amount of 150 but you credited 1,500. That would make your account incorrect and not balanced. Okay, now I would like to show to you the equation in writing. Okay, looking back at the equation, we have assets equals to liability plus owner's equity. Now let's assume the equation originally the balance is 10,000 equals to 10,000. Okay, just to make it easier for us to keep track of the changes. Okay, let's go for our first scenario. Okay, for our first scenario. Okay, the first scenario says that we buy the asset using cash, right? So now the original is 10,000. Okay, we minus the 1,500, the price of the printer. Then we have the balance of 8,500. But at the same time, we say that our asset is also increased by 1,500 in the form of the printer. So now, okay, our balance is still 10,000. Okay, if you look at this, okay, this is still balanced both ways. Okay, this is our first scenario. Let's see our second scenario where the assets is being bought partly by credit. So now originally, so change that into black color. Okay, so now we have the equation originally at 10,000. Okay, so 10,000, first and foremost, we bought the printer using 10% cash, right? So only minus 150. Okay, when we buy 10% cash, the remaining 90% is using liability, which is accounts payable. So the remaining 90% of 1,500 is actually 1,350. Why I put a plus sign here is because the right hand side, our liability will increase by 1,350. Now the right hand side, the balance is 11,350. On the left hand side, we also have to add the asset itself, which is the printer, 1,500. This is the same as the situation in the first one. Okay, so now when you do the calculation, the balance here is also 11,350. Okay, so this shows that whatever transaction, okay, involves, the equation must always be balanced. Okay, so this is the second situation. That is all our lesson for today. Thank you for watching.